All right, what's up, people? So, just coming on here today to get on record what I think is really going on here, just to try and sum it up in simple terms as best as possible, because it's obviously the truth. It can't be put into words, and it's not exactly the easiest thing to comprehend, and it's not exactly the easiest thing to convey. But I'm going to try, right? We're going to try to explore what's really going on. So, it's all about love, right? We've heard it before. We all know this. Literally, this life, we're here to love. It's that simple, right? It's the truth that's been hidden in plain sight our whole lives. But why? Why are we here to love? What is it about, why is that the message? Why is that the purpose of this incarnation? Well, I think taking it a step further, being a human being, the purpose of being alive in general is genuinely, I believe, bliss. We're supposed to be at a blissful state. We're supposed to be in a heavenly state within the mind and also within the material world, as above, so below. I truly believe that. And if you explore your inner being enough, you'll come to find that that is the truth. In one way or the other, we're supposed to be happy. Cliche, I know, but happiness, joy, peace, contentment is our birthright, okay? Now you may say, oh, yeah, right, we don't live in that kind of world. Look at what's going on in Ukraine. How about the coronavirus? Or the list goes on of our suffering and drama of the world, right? There's a lot of suffering. There's a hell of a lot of suffering in this world and in our lives. So how is this about love? Is it truly about being happy? The world seems pretty dark. Is it really about finding joy? And yes, we are meant to see the light through that darkness. But then the next question is, well, how do we see the light? How do we find that little glimmer of hope within the vast darkness of this world? Well, that is to explore what you really are. Decondition yourself from what you told you were your whole life and truly explore with genuine curiosity what you are. Ask that question. What am I? Who am I? What's really going on here? And you will come to find that what's really going on here is that there's truly only one of us here. And not as in one human being. Obviously, there's billions of human beings. But this one, player one that we all are in this game of life, created itself into billions of different human beings, different physical bodies, but the same wavelength, the same consciousness, the same energy, the same experience, essentially, the same sense of being alive, being here and now. Okay? So we're all connected. We're all the same thing. You can come to find this in your being through direct experience. You can find that wavelength, that we are all essentially part of God. Okay? So thus, once one recognizes that we are all a part of the Supreme, we are the Supreme, always were, always will be. What's the next step? Well, the next step, rationally, is to love. How can you not love yourself? Right? The next step is to act in a way where you are harmless toward yourself. See yourself, truly be able to see yourself in others. Because there are no others. That's the whole joke of this thing. You can come to find that there are no others. And getting back to it, that happiness, true joy, not materialism, not pleasure, true joy and happiness comes from knowing thyself and serving thyself and loving thyself. And I don't think there's any way around it. There's nothing we can do about that. You can try and find happiness in the yachts, in the nice cars, in the women, but all of that stuff, all of that stuff is going to come to pass. All of that stuff is temporary pleasure, temporary musings of the mind. But what you can find on the inside, if you genuinely ask with discipline, you will come to find that love, that service orientation, it doesn't come to pass. It's the only thing that stays true in this world. Everything else, because it is of temporary nature, is a falsity. It's an illusion. So our job is to find out what sticks here. What's the meat of this thing? How can you see through the facade of materialism, of Maya, of Prakriti, of this world, and the many distractions of it, to see what you really are, to love what you really are, and thus enjoy this experience? Because it is, on the surface level, darkness. But we live in a world of polarity. How can one see the light without the darkness? There needs to be darkness in order for there to be light. Yin and yang, black and white. So in this world of polarity, we need to know what we aren't, what our true nature is not, in order to know what our true nature is. That's the whole gist of this thing. There needs to be the darkness and the suffering, so that we can awaken out of the darkness and the suffering, to see it for what it really is. To see that truly, and it's hard to say. It's hard to say to somebody that's truly suffering. But we're all going to suffer in one way or the other. At one time or another, we have suffered or will. It's hard to say. But truly, there is no suffering. There is suffering, but there's nobody that's suffering. Does that make sense? It's all temporary. It's all going to come to pass eventually. So thus, it's just part of this illusion. But you have to use that suffering as almost like it's a catalyst to change your perspective on what you think you are, or what we've been led to believe that we are, and how we've been led to believe we reach that state of joy and happiness and bliss. Everything has a place here. Even the suffering. Even the darkness. We live in a world of polarity and of paradox. Two poles. And in order to understand one pole, you need to be able to understand the other pole. If you stay on one side of the polarity too long, it won't work. That's why yin and yang is so poignant when you look at it. It holds so much symbolic value, because it's essentially, that's the truth, man. It's a truth. But yeah, man, I don't know what else to say. I think I said all that I can say at that point. It's all about love. Through our love and service, there's happiness. There's true joy. Contentment, peace. And that's what we all want. Come on, let's be honest. That's why we're here. Contrary to popular belief, we are here to enjoy this experience. You just got to find out how to enjoy this experience. That's all I got to say. Thank you, anybody that has listened this long. I wish you all the best. I hope that made sense. And like I said, My viewpoint may change in the future. I may make another video or may not, who knows. But what I'm trying to say is, that's what I think now, but I'm not so tied to it. I'm not even attached to that belief. It may change in the future. And for anybody that's watching or listening, take it with a grain of salt. That's my truth. This is how I feel intuitively. This is what I channeled in this moment. But you have to find that yourself. And anybody else that may, spew words just like that and say things like that, also take with a grain of salt. Because all of these things are just guidance for you to directly experience that and find that through your own intuitive wisdom. And I believe that we all can. Because we're all human, and it's our birthright. It's our divine, it's like an honor, but it's hidden. You can find it. Yeah, guys, I'm gonna peace out. Namaste.